everyone, Shane Thompson, Kitesurfing test editor for Kitesurfing Magazine. I'm here with Gary Siskar of Ride Engine. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, Shane. Welcome to wintertime.
Thank you.
It was summer the past few days here in Hood River in the Northwest, but hey.
Well, at least there's some wind, and if it stops raining, we'll hit the water.
And we'll be right back to summertime,
cool.
So it'll be all good.
Exactly. So some new and exciting things. What's the vision of Ride Engine moving forward? We haven't talked to you in a couple of years. So.
No, absolutely. So number one, it's awesome to be back in front of people again. You know, kite surfing community's one of the best on the planet, and
strong.
Now we can all be together. Yep, totally.
Yeah.
So it's been a super good event, and it's fun to always show product in person. So here we are. But yeah, so we've done a lot with Ride Engine over the past couple seasons, and you know, the vision for the brand, which started with, you know, Coleman Buckley creating a better harness for the entire universe. Now we're expanding that same mentality out through the entire line.
Yeah.
We've expanded our harness offering, you know, quite vastly over the past couple seasons, and now we're fanning out into three categories that we're calling it, which is connection to the rider. So that's everything from the harness to traction pads, connection with leashes to your boards, to your kite, to your, and connection with, you know, foot straps and so forth. Then we're going really deep with protection. You know, it seems like protection in water sports is becoming a more important thing. You know, I think the uniform, especially for the wind sports thing, you look at kiteboarders where impact vests were always considered more of like, oh, I'm learning, I'm gonna wear an impact vest. Now with the big air movement, impact vests are becoming more standard. And now it's just becoming a part of the kite surfing kit overall. So we're going deeper into that, deeper with helmets. You know, now, you know, wing surfing's coming up too, obviously, and that it just seems like the whole uniform for wing surfing revolves around protection. So we're getting deeper with that. And the last thing is what we call control. Really revolves around climate control and what we're, you know, we've done wetsuits for a couple seasons now. So we're deepening our wetsuit offering and high-end premium wetsuits. And then we're also going to start moving into little pieces that double as riding pieces also, you know, whether it's windbreakers that you can ride in, you know, stuff like that.
Jackets,
that you can basically control your climate.
Pants.
I don't know. Maybe we're feeling kite pants again. It's possible. But yeah, you know, we're trying to control our climate. Hey, you know what? We can't control the climate. Well, we all should try to control our climate globally for the betterment of all of us. But hey, if we can control our own microclimate, that's what we're trying to do.
Yep. Gotta be good, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So why don't you take us through some of the new harnesses?
Yeah, let's highlight a couple things. So what we're looking at here is this, you know, next season of harnesses, what we call 2022. And this last season, you know, we went from having just 2 hard shell harnesses, which was the Carbon Elite and the Prime. And then in 2021, we actually introduced 3 new harnesses, which we kept the Carbon Elite in the line, which is the flagship for Ride Engine. So it's a 100% carbon hard shell. This is one that Coleman worked on tirelessly back in the day in his garage, making customs for everyone. So how we came up, or how Ride Engine came up with this particular shape, is actually taking all those molds that he had from the people, scanning those, and we came up with the average shape of everyone. So it's something very unique to Ride Engine because no one else has that data to apply to their shape. So everyone's kind of stabbing at the dark, like, okay, we're gonna make this hard shell, we're gonna put some foam in it. We think that the ergonomics are like this, but ours is actually backed by science and data, which is really important.
You can have that little dip there. Because
so our shaping is quite different. So we have a lot of shaping, not just on the horizontal axis, but also on the vertical axis, and that's what we call lumbar lock. And it really locks it into your lower back. That reduces the harness twisting overall, so we're able to get away with a lot smoother surfaces.
And on your sides.
Exactly, and also locking into your back with the vertical axis, it also eliminates or reduces the rising of the harness too. You know, all harnesses, you know, you're putting this hoop around you. Certain cases, if you're a big air rider, they'll ride up, but ours is greatly reduced overall. So that's the Carbon Elite. The other thing for our range going into 2022 is we did a lot of material science on our existing models, and we realized that we were able to change materials, our internal fusion foam, we call it. We were able to modify that into a larger closed cell, which makes the foam lighter, but still with the same support overall. So we were able to reduce the weight there. And the other thing is, on the overall neoprene use and material use, we were able to take our neoprene density down or thickness down a bit. And overall, in the Carbon Elite and the Sabre, we reduced our weight by about 20%, and in our soft harness, the Momentum, we reduced the weight by about 12%. So significant difference. You can really feel it in hand weight overall. So it's a really nice product.
Nicely finished.
Yeah. So a new one that we're releasing for 2022 is called the Light. And our goal here with the Light was to, one, take our data shape from the Carbon Elite and apply it to basically one of the lightest weight harnesses on the market. Our goal was to get a size large, under 1 kg.
Yep.
We're hovering right around that, so we're right about 0.98. So we met that goal, which is an extremely lightweight harness, and that is without the spreader bar. We want to be transparent about that. So that, but that's, you know, feel that's without a spreader bar.
Yep.
Pretty nice.
Crazy.
The other thing we wanted to do also is create an interface with the body that's extremely comfortable but doesn't absorb water. How we accomplished that is we did a thermoformed EVA, so we make separate molds for each size, thermoform the EVA to it that fits onto our curved shell, hard shell harness. Fasten that to the shell, and then we laminate it with Lycra. So
does this take on any water then?
Zero water. But the big difference between what's going on with a lot of other ones out there that use thermoformed or pressed EVA, we all know what's on the top of all your boards that you use to stay stuck. EVA. So on all your surfboards, we're putting EVA. The one thing that EVA is, it's really abrasive. That's why it's super sticky. So when you get EVA, especially if you ride in trunks on your bare skin,
not fun.
It's not fun at all. So we put what are rash guards made out of? Lycra. Yeah. So what we did is we laminated Lycra to the EVA. So now you have this interface with your body that won't, give you rashes. We did put texturing in it because, if you just put smooth Lycra, it can tend to be slippery. Yeah. So we do have a textured surface that integrates with your, with your skin or with your wetsuit that will help hold it. Now while we're here, I'd love to talk about what we call our direct connect systems. So we launched this last year.
Yep.
And again, in the vein of Ride Engine, we wanted to create a solution for what we felt was the weakest link of harnesses. And the weakest link really is the webbing connection. There's a lot of, inherent issues with webbing. It comes loose. No matter how good the buckles are, you're putting a lot of load on the hook. It'll work its way loose. Webbing, when it dries, shrinks up. You get it wet, it stretches out, so you have to keep readjusting it. Webbing gets clogged with debris, sand and dirt, and that makes it slippery. So we wanted to eliminate webbing on our premium harnesses. So we took a lot of inspiration from snowboard bindings and put it into what we call the direct connect. So we eliminated the webbing, and now we have a full, what's called super nylon connection with a bracket for adjustment. So this slides in and out. We index it with numbers so you can make sure your spreader bar is
where you are
centered overall. So if you're a 2 here, you match it to a 2 over here. And I'm going to show you the function, because what's really interesting is you take the time to fit this, because it's like fitting a ski boot, right? Yeah. You take the time to fit it, and it is truly a one-time set it and forget it system, because you don't have to worry about loosening your webbing up to get out of your harness. Right. You don't have to worry about tightening it up when your webbing gets wet.
Right. And you probably know, okay, I've got my 5.3 on or my 4.3 on, so I put it at 2 or 3.
Exactly. So you figure out those numbers, and then it's really easy to move. So you put it in. We have a stabilization wing. You slide that in the pocket. You can see this is a little bit too, maybe I'm getting round.
It's been a long week.
A little bit too tight for me. Way too many beers. So you can extend this out a little bit. Take a note.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking pretty good. Fish the webbing through there. Put the bracket over, voila. Now you're in. Completely stable. Yeah. Now you have this hard connection between here, and the beauty is you want to get a really small distance. We want people to fit it between really like a 1 and a 3 would be the most optimum distance on the numbers
so you
here.
Choose the right size.
Match that, so you choose the right size harness. We make that pretty easy because we have 3 different size spreader bars and a 12-inch, 10-inch, 8-inch. So depending what size harness you're in, small, medium, large, extra large, whatever, you can really figure out and tune what size spreader bar. Yeah. So there's even cases people are in an extra small. It's a girl in an extra small. She might be right on the borderline of extra small and small. Yeah. She can go with an extra small 12-inch spreader bar. Right. Boom.
So you
fits
can customize
perfect.
Your size based on the size of the harness and the size of the spreader bar.
Exactly.
Gives you twice as many sizes.
Exactly. So the other thing we did with the system is we made it ambidextrous. So we're the only ambidextrous system out there. There's left-handed people, right-handed people.
Right.
So we want to make it easy to get out of. And the system is fairly easy to get out of. It's a lot easier, I feel, than having to like pull a D-ring over a clasp or try to push a tiny little button where you're like, oh, I can't get this little button pressed. Basically, webbing, you know, and you move it to the outside, comes out easy. A lot of times under load, it may get a little harder, so it's a nice easy two-hand application. Whop, you're out there. You know, I'm right-handed, so you can see how easy that is for me. On my left hand, a lot harder because I'm not left-handed. I can still get it open with two, but that's why we made it ambidextrous, because someone has you have a dominant hand, so really easy to get in and out of overall. We do offer the spreader bar in two ways in terms of spreader bar pads. We offer what we call the minimalist spreader bar, which has a nice small EVA pad on the back. A lot of the crew is more into just free riding with a rope slider. We'll go with this. Lightweight, minimal, still fits really well. And we have what's called the mega pad. So a lot of the big air guys, hardcore freestyle riders, the wake style guys, or if you just want a really comfortable, you know, doing dangle passes, this is what you want. So are those cool these days? I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Somewhere in the world there.
Yeah, so we're excited about this system. The best way I can equate it to is like, hey, you know, ski boots, back in the day, way before my time, were laces, right? Yeah. Webbing is kind of like laces, and now do you find a lace ski boot anywhere? No. Not on the planet anymore. So that's the way I look at it. So definitely the future, and we'll probably see this in other brands too, right?
That's very slick.
Coming up. Cool.
Nice.
So that's it. The light harness, you know, new addition for the line. Unity system, we introduced it last year, a whole new way of looking at getting in and out of your harnesses with that one-time set it and forget it. Couple spreader bars. We do offer the spreader bar or a conversion for the spreader bar into a rope conversion. So easy to convert the minimal or the mega spreader bar with a rope. Basically pop the hook out. The conversion comes with...
So the holes are just here for the rope.
Exactly. Comes with a long rope, comes with the mini, you know, the mini loop. You can run this 3 different ways, either on the long rope. If you're in the surf, a lot of toe side riding, you can run it just on the mini loop. If you're doing big air and you don't want to flip bars around, you don't go to a fixed hook. So it's right here. And if you're not unhooking, you know, do you really need a fixed hook at the end of the day? And then you can flip this through a lot of the hydrofoilers, like Fred Hope. He loves to run it this way, where it locks it off just a little more. But you get kind of this, you know, video game-ish, multi-dimensional control of your kite and everything that's going on. So when you're doing these weird upwind tacks and all that kind of stuff, you can keep the pull. So he must not
like it to slide too far because he wants it centered.
And he wants to pull through all those kind of crazy tricks that only he knows how to really do at the moment. So, but yeah. Cool. So that's the harnesses. And like I said, we have Carbon Elite flagship. They are all graduated by Flex also. So this would be the stiffest. The light with our curved shell would be the next Flex down in the line. Then we have the Saber, which is a composite molded shell, which is still a hard shell, but that's our, you know, third in terms of Flex. So this one still has a lot of horizontal stiffness to it, reducing the, you know, that pull you get off the kite and dispersing that pressure. But yet torsionally, it has a bit more. So when you're doing tweaks and grabs and all that kind of stuff, a lot of the surf guys like this one too. Plus, it's a little bit lower profile. If you look at it, we graduated that too. So higher profile Carbon Elite, the light steps down a bit more. You go to the Saber and it's a little bit lower. So, and a lot of people don't pay attention to this because you could be like, say a shorter dude, maybe a little bit rounder, shorter torso, and you need a large harness. And all of a sudden you get a large harness and things way up in your shoulder blades. So you want to find a harness that fits in the small of your back, and we offer that, you know, so someone can find the right fit.
Very cool.
And then we have our soft harness called the Momentum, which is a full soft harness. What is unique about ours, though, we did take the shape and work really hard to bring the Carbon Elite shape into the Momentum. So we have a nice PE board, a molded PE board on the inside that gives you the lumbar lock technology.
Very cool.
So pretty nice. And the last, hey, we know people. There's seat harness wearers out there. So we made a seat harness. We brought a little bit of our hard shell DNA into it with what we call the sacrum adjustment plate. What this is really there for is I call it seat gaper gap, you know?
Yes.
So you look at a lot of people, when they're wearing the seat harnesses, they get this big gap in their back.
Yep.
And actually, that makes the seat harness fit pretty poorly. So this, you can tighten it up, it closes that gap, it raises the seat portion up and puts it in the right place. So when you're, when you're sitting down into it, loaded up, you have great pressure dispersion throughout the whole harness, makes it really nice and comfortable.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. And also, you notice that our soft harnesses are still with webbing. So you can adapt our...
Spreader bars.
Spreader bar goes onto it with what we call the webbing conversion clips.
Yep.
So this just goes in here, and you're all set to go. So, and the beauty about this too is we also offer these conversion clips. If you have a Ride Engine 2018, 19, 2020 harness, and you want to step up into the Unity system, you could do it with just a set of the webbing conversion clips. And actually, any harness out there on the market that has this internal belt, you can actually convert to a webbing.
The double,
Yep, and with the double webbing, exactly. So you can convert up and get the, the lever lock system on there.
Some
pretty nice.
Connection there.
Pretty nice. So that's our quick, maybe not so quick, but that was our quick harness overview.
Amazing.
So why don't we roll into a little bit?
Roll deeper into the boot.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about our neoprene. So Ride Engine, we make really what we call best in class, most superior neoprene out there. We only have one range of neoprene for both men and women. They're made equally the same. So we have the APOC for men, and we have the Alara for women. And we didn't cut any corners on the design of the neoprene. So we use the highest grade, sustainable limestone, earth mine neoprene on the market. Extremely stretchy, very warm. And then we didn't cut any corners on the construction either. So when you get right down to it, we have what's called power seam. So it's a glued and blind stitch seam. And then on the outside, we power seam it to just give it that one extra layer of water, basically so you don't get any water leaking through the seam. So it's nice and watertight.
Yep.
Front zip entry, which we feel is the best because that's one of the most flexible suits that you can get on the market. We did a lot of work in the closure system and the entry system to reduce any flushing because that's an issue with some of the front zip wetsuits out there. So we have a nice high neck gusset. We also worked on the collar a lot so it doesn't pucker in the front. And also the dimension of the closure overall to reduce any flushing. So like when you crash, say you're crashing going to your left, you get a big blast of water up in here, it's not going to flush down through the suit. It's going to flush straight to the drain holes, and you're not going to get that big frigid, like, whoa, man, this is super cold. So it's really nice. On the internal side of the suits, we use what's called thermal lock fleece. So this fleece is really nice. We used to use what's called a pile fleece, and now we use this cord terry fleece thermal lock.
Yeah.
Few very important benefits with this. One, lighter weight suit overall than the pile fleece liners. Two, absorbs less water than the pile fleece liners. Three, just as warm as any of the pile fleece liners. Number four, dries way faster.
I was going to say,
so
less water means dry faster.
Exactly, less water, dry faster. We also, for this range of wetsuits, eliminate a lot of seams. So the more seams you have in a wetsuit, it kind of locks off the stretch, even with the ultra stretchy neoprene.
Right.
Right when you start layering seams on there, it'll slowly but surely lock off stretch. So we eliminated seams, especially in the torso and in the arm area, where you need a lot of movement and so forth, to make the suits more stretchy.
So they come in the full range of neoprene thicknesses?
Yeah, absolutely, both. In the APOC and the Alara, it comes 3-2 full suits all the way to 5-4-3s with hoods, everything in between.
Cool.
Plus we have long sleeve springer, short sleeve springer for men, and then for women, we have 2 long sleeve springs in a short leg and in a bikini cut.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Cool.
Super nice.
Super nice.
Controlling the climate so you can stay on the water longer.
Control the climates.
Cool. Well,
Amazing.
talking a lot. They got me on day 3 here. They saved the best
One
for last,
more.
right, you guys?
That's right.
Best for
We're
last.
all fully tuned up, ready to go.
Yeah, so let's talk about protection a little bit. I kind of babbled on about that in the beginning, but protection is really important. We found out we used to have one impact vest in the line called the Impacts, and now we have 4 impact vests in the line. So we'll start out with the impacts. It's a mainstay, very well designed piece of protection for kiteboarding. Everything in this has been designed around kiteboarding. So you have a lower section that integrates perfectly with a harness. So we kept any of the flotation, any of the protective foam out of anywhere that would interact with the harness. Move that all up to the top so it gives you some confidence, inspiring. It does give you a little bit of float. These aren't life vests, they are impact vests, but the float is there to kind of give you that, all right, cool, I can take a little breather, get my board back, I'm not sinking to my neck, and so forth. So this is the impact vest. I would call it like a medium buoyancy vest overall. And the impact is strategically placed, like I said, to not interfere with the harness, but gives you plenty of top coverage, and so forth. The next one we have is called the Defender HF. Do you know what HF stands for?
No.
Hydrofoil. Come on, big buzzword.
Ooh.
So the Defender HF was designed specifically for hydrofoiling and all sports hydrofoiling. So we thought about prone surfing all the way to wing foiling, kite foiling, and that's the reason for this specific flotation and protection layout. So you can see how once a lot of the way it's been designed, it doesn't inhibit, well, we're gonna get showered on, inhibit the interaction with the harness, so the harness fits really well. At the same time, we brought the padding up very high, so when you're prone surfing, you don't have a lot of bulk underneath your chest when you're paddling. And really key on this harness is we backed it up in key strike areas, we call them, with PE board. So besides having padding for impact protection, feel that down in there?
Yeah.
You have a hard piece.
So you're not going to get skewered?
Exactly. So if you come in contact with your wing, not the wing you're flying, but say your wing on your hydrofoil, some of those fuses are kind of pointy, your mast, your board, there's a little extra protection in there. The other thing is we put that PE all the way up through the shoulder. Sometimes you have to carry your foil on your shoulder and your mast is kind of digging into your shoulder, so we alleviated that.
Great ideas.
Yeah, so this is called the Defender HF. The next one I want to talk about is our women's specific vest. So really inspired by the Impacts vest overall.
Reversible.
And it is reversible, so you can be like low pro, wearing the black. I'm just going to kind of sleek my way into the water. You can be like, hey, here I am. So, but yeah, totally reversible and well thought out on this one too. So integrates great with a harness. We talked to a lot of female riders. We talked to some of our retailers and like, what are the issues that you get with gals and impact vests? The number one they said is like, oh, they all complain like when the harness kind of comes up. If there's any padding around here, it kind of accentuates that pressure point. So we took a pattern shape in here and actually V'd out the where the flotation is and graduated the flotation to being thinner. So we eliminated any pressure points, but still have some impact protection right above the harness and so forth. So it integrates very, very well with the harness and spreader bar. This is kind of like a medium low float, so it confidence inspiring, fits really well, women's fit obviously, and as you pointed out, it's totally reversible. So that's kind of cool. So you get 2 impact vests for one. Totally.
Very cool.
Next thing for protection, got to protect your head. So we're releasing a helmet this year. So we have one hard shell helmet called the Universe. 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. Highly adjustable since we have the dial adjustment in the back, so we cover a very large size range of heads out there. CE certified, has all the certifications for a hard shell helmet. What's really nice about this one is on the inside, we use thermal formed EVA rather than using foam. So foam does a couple things. Foam absorbs water. So then when you crash, absorbs water, you come up out of the water, and it just keeps draining. It just keeps draining into your eyes, keeps draining into your face. So this will shed water really quick. The other thing with the thermal formed, it'll dry really fast rather than just being soggy, soggy the entire time. So, and last is it retains being lightweight. Any type of water you get in there, just gains water weight. So there we go. Cool. Comes with the ear pads on it, so you can remove the ear pads. Like if you want to have an ear pad in there for extra protection, maybe a little extra warmth. Yep, you can have the ear pad, or you can run it without the ear pad.
Then you have a soft shell.
We do. We came out with a soft surf cap, which is just This is built just like an impact vest, so this is thermal formed, EVA also, lycra laminated. It's just that for that extra layer of protection. Someone that doesn't want to wear a hard shell. This is actually more hydrodynamic, so to speak. So when you crash, you don't have this bobblehead on you, so it's a little bit more slim and sleek. A little bit warmer overall. And it just gives you that extra layer of protection, so feel like you're like, I don't want to wear a hard shell, but I do want something, a little extra layer. And like, you've probably seen people, they've been wearing rugby helmets, foiling and stuff like that. This is highly inspired from that. There's been a couple other soft surf caps.
It's like an old school football helmet when they used to wear them when they were allowed, right?
Totally. So that's the barrier surf cap.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Also, for protection, we don't want to negate, besides being protected from your board, your foil, all that kind of fun stuff, hitting the water.
Protect yourself.
You got to protect yourself from the sun. Yeah, sun and the elements. So we came out with a very clean line of waterwear that's all about performance. The first one we have is a hooded. Obviously, all of our stuff is what's called UPF 50, so it's the highest. It's the highest protection factor, sun protection factor you can get in a garment. Oversized hood, so it goes over a helmet or just provides a lot of protection on the beach. Built-in gaiter with the holes. You know what's great about the holes?
You can breathe.
Especially when you go underwater, you don't get waterboarded. So now you can wear it while you're riding. You can have your neck gaiter up. You crash, you're not gonna waterboard you. So it's really nice. Cool. And we also tailored it a bit differently than a lot of them out there. So we have a nice full fit in the body, but we tailored and made the arms a little bit more narrow because we want people to ride in it. If you have big baggy arms, they tend to like droop. They tend to blow up onto your elbow. So we put a thumb hole on it, a little bit more tailored arms, so they're really nice to ride in overall. Yeah, so we have a hooded one. We have a short sleeve, loose fit, quick dry. We also have a long sleeve version of this. And we also, there's a long sleeve version of the quick dry. And then we also have your standard tighter fit rash guard, all UPF 50. So
nice and soft.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool.
All right, you guys. Last thing that we actually classify in protection is you have to protect your boards, right?
Exactly.
So we have an awesome range of board bags. Everything for surfboards to twin tips, foil boards, wing boards, we have it covered. Tons of sizes that will fit it all. Everything in our foil board, wing board, from a 5.0 bag all the way up to a 7.6, has all the features you would want with reflective to keep the heat down. The board bag's vented to keep the heat down. It is a sidewall construction, we call it, with 4mm foam in it, so you can travel with it if you pack smartly. And then obviously for the foils, we have a very long Velcro foil slot because everyone's mask positions are different. And we actually did a pretty deep dive in all the boards out there for foils. And our board bag, if you look at the dims, will pretty much fit any board out there that you have. So if you have like a 5.4, our 5.6 bag is going to be perfect for that 5.4 in terms of in terms of the dimensions and so forth. You have a 5.0, it's going to go right into this 5.0 bag. Say you got a 410, it's going to be perfect in this 410. Even if that 410 bag, that 410 board is really wide, so we took the dimensions into consideration to fit all shapes and sizes of boards. So it's really good on that front. So that really sums up our protection thing. We got some great travel bags and so forth. I could go on and on forever, so maybe we could encapsulate that another time.
Well, that was amazing. Thanks for taking us through that. And Ride Engines, the harnesses for the suits, I think everything looks amazing. Everybody, check out Ride Engine stuff. Check out these videos at kitesurfingmag.com. Leave some comments.
Yeah.
Gary, thanks for doing this, and we'll see you all on the water soon.
No problem. We'll see you guys soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary.